What's up, everybody? Good morning. So we are officially on day three, kind of hour three, of our Kyros Venture Studio video series, and this is week one with our first project, Omni IQ. So where we last left off, we were dealing with a lot of foundational work, and we didn't really have much to show. So the videos probably were pretty crappy and boring, to be honest. But we're starting to see some progress here. So what we can do is kind of do a quick tour of the platform. I kind of cheated on this a little bit because last night I spent maybe 30-40 minutes actually modifying this and updating some stuff from my phone through the Replit app. So that's one actually really nice thing about Replit is they have a mobile app, so you don't always have to do these edits and look at your projects on your desktop and computer. I did like a half hour in bed from my phone, so it's a nice feature that Replit allows. So let's look through this. Our agent's currently working on some billing, but while that's going on, I'm going to show you the current platform. So as you can see, it's not super responsive yet, but that's okay. What we want to do is just make sure that we've got a lot of our core functionality. And what I implemented was the ability to test the three different types of roles that we're going to offer in the Omni IQ platform. So first thing, obviously, we've got our employee. So what employees are going to be able to do is they're going to be able to log in and basically chat with an AI assistant to ask company-specific questions on the documents that that company has uploaded. So, what's our standard operating procedures for X? What's our vacation policy? How does vacation roll over? Just company knowledge, essentially, right? So they're going to be able to get in and go through and ask those questions. They can actually see the documents that they have permissions to. And I'll show you that in a second. But what we'll actually look through right now is the department head. So it looks like our agent is doing some updates. Cool, nothing really that's going to change any of these visuals. So this is our department head. And department heads, their roles and responsibilities are really going to be uploading documents, and then they're going to be working a lot in the AI Innovation Hub and the Solutions Generator. So their main dashboard looks like this. So welcome back, department, whatever. They can ask AI questions. This is going to be very similar to the employee tab. You've got your knowledge base, your AI assistant, your innovation hub, security, recent activity, and then company AI assistant. So like, what's our remote work policy? This is kind of hard to see. I wish I could minimize that for you, but this is kind of hard coded there for right now. You've got your knowledge base. So there's obviously no documents uploaded into this yet, but you got your total documents processed, processing total queries. You can upload documents, and then you can go through and see your different documents. And again, like a lot of the UX UI, we're going to put some final polish on once we get all the foundation set up. So I don't love the way a lot of this looks, but it's good enough to be able to understand that it works, right? Which is our main goal here in hour number 3. So we got another agent's working and it's uploading. The next piece we're going to show is going to be the solutions generator and the innovation hub. If we're able to see this, I should have done a deploy and shown you on the deploy because we wouldn't have to go through the agent updating stuff. So while this is happening, why don't we go in and see what this Replit agent is doing. So the last prompt I gave it told it excellent work. Now this is something that I'm doing, honestly, recently is making sure that I give the AI props or praise when it's due, when it does a good job. Before, I wouldn't. I would only tell it when it did a piss poor job. And I've noticed that it makes it a little more sporadic, and it kind of like gets it to fly off the handle. And so I was talking to a Claude agent, and just kind of like, out of curiosity, late night chats with AI. And I was asking, like, do AI agents actually care about praise? Does it matter to them? Does it do anything for the model? And it turns out like it's kind of training the model to understand, what you like. It wants to make you happy. And if you're just always telling it that it does a bad job, it doesn't know like what lane to go down that actually like gets you to be happy with the work that it's doing, which is its main goal. Um, and I never really wanted to say like good job, good work, because I was like, that just wastes credits. It just wastes gas. Like if it does good work, like I'm just going to move on to the next thing. So I want to make sure, like going forward, that I tell it when it does a good job, but I'm just going to include that with my instructions on the next piece, right? So that way it's all kind of compiled together. I'm not sending multiple things. I'm not saying, hey, great job, and waiting for it to respond and then giving it its next task. I'm saying, hey, great job, here's your next task, all in one thing. So just quick wanted to give you some, I don't know, ideas or inputs, or just kind of tips on how I'm building these. So our next phase is billing and premium features. So we wanted to make sure that we got our billing locked in. So this is going to be in this specific spot in the blueprint. And so talking about our Stripe integration, whoops, stay on the call. And talking about just like what we need to be doing here. Just going through some of the details. I don't need to read all this. So it's going through and it's starting to do the work, and you can see like, all right, we can go in, we can check, and we can see like if it's having any issues, if there's errors, if it's trying to fix stuff. You always kind of want to go through and look at what these AI agents are doing. Even if you're not super technical, you're still going to be able to pick up stuff where it might start to be like, going in the wrong area. And you're going to be able to kind of like retune it back in to be able to do what it needs to do. So even if you're not super technical, a lot of this stuff, the more you do it, the more you're going to start noticing. You're going to get like a gut feeling like that doesn't seem right. Like if we're working on Stripe, I don't know why you'd be doing XYZ over here. So let me just quick ask you and see what's going on. If you do that though, make sure you're going to give it some sort of like objective decision making. Like if you just tell it, hey, I don't think you're doing the right thing, it's always going to agree with you and say, oh, you're absolutely right, even though you might not be right. So you need to ask it questions objectively, like, hey, I noticed you're doing X in relation to Y. Can you explain to me why you're doing that? Instead of just, hey, I think you're doing this wrong. Ask it to explain why you're doing that. Gives you a little bit more understanding, and then you can kind of fine tune and realign from there. So going through, it looks like all this is good from what I can tell. Okay, it looks like it's got our billing taken care of. So let's go through and we'll continue to tour the site. So we had our dashboard, went and looked at our knowledge base. We've got our AI assistant. So this is where we're going to be able to go in and say, there's no knowledge base for this yet, but you would go in and say like, what's our 401k policy, or how does vacation time roll over? So department heads are going to have the same feature that regular employees do, because they might have questions like that too. So since it's already built, may as well keep it here. And then this is going to be the cool thing with this. There's a lot of companies that have internal GPTs that have all of their company's information. Not a lot of them, or maybe none of them, have an agent or a consultant built in that's trained up on their data, that's being able to look at different ways to problem solve and think outside the box, and create different innovation opportunities for different areas of their business. So I don't like the way this looks, but we'll get the point here. So when we're looking at our innovation hub, you can see like this is a pro feature, so it's got premium access for these department heads. So they're going to be able to see like, hey, we can get technical blueprints, we can see implementation roadmaps, value guaranteed. So track the business impact of your innovation investments. Not sure how it's going to do that, but we'll work on that. So got our overview. So generate technical blueprint, create implementation roadmap. Let's see. So technical blueprint generation, implementation roadmap, session history. I don't really love the user experience here because I think this is getting a little bit ahead of itself. Really shouldn't be creating any technical blueprints or implementation roadmaps until we do kind of a discovery. So that might be a little confusing for the user. It looks like our solutions page is giving a 404. So either the redirect is not working correctly or that page is not built yet. So let's find out. Okay, so I'm selecting this card content so it can see the 404 error. Remember, these AI agents, they can't technically see. They see ones and zeros. So if you tell it, like, hey, I see a 404 error, it might get it right, but it might not. But Replit has the ability to like actually select elements in the site. So it's able to see the code of exactly what you're talking about. So when I select this, it's able to show this card content and show that it's getting a 404 error. So say, hey, I'm getting a 404 error. Here's what I'm selecting. And then I'm telling it what page it's on. And I'm getting that right up here. And so it's on our innovation and solutions page. The next thing I'm doing is I'm asking it, is this a redirect issue? Like, does our innovation solutions page exist? And that button is not pointing to the right page, or does this page not exist yet, which is giving us this 404 error? So it's probably one of the two. It could be something else, but my guess is it's probably one of the two. I think this page exists. I feel like I've seen it before. So most likely it's a redirect issue, but let's see what the agent has to say. Okay, so let's go back and review. There's definitely an issue, but we're going to fix it. Before we do, I'm going to tell you guys what the issue was. So looks like I was right and that it was a routing issue. So the page was created, but it just wasn't sending it to the right page. So went through and fixed the routing issue. And then there's a 403 error for permissions for the department head to be able to see this. So it updated that, and then I can see that user is a department head. So let's keep going through. And it's saying it fixed the 404 error, updated the user roles, grant innovation hub, and did some other stuff, right? But here's the problem. So looking at this, the AI Innovation Hub and the Solutions Generator is the exact same thing. That doesn't work. So we need to get this cleaned up. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to put a prompt together to be able to get this fixed and taken care of. And I'm also going to adjust like the flow or like the user journey because I don't really like the way this is structured right now. So we'll speed this part up, and then once I'm finished, we'll come back and look at what we've done and kind of the changes that we've made. Okay, we're going to get into what we just did in our AI Innovation Hub, and I'm going to kind of talk you through what I adjusted and edited, and then we can kind of wrap up this hour 3 sprint. So let's scroll up to where we're at. As it sat, we're working on our department head view and the permissions that they get being able to use our AI Innovation Hub and Solutions Generator. So what I did is went back, reviewed our technical blueprint, and kind of just made sure that my vision for what this is was correctly referenced in the technical blueprint, which it was. So went through, looked at that, and generated this prompt for Replit. So I wanted to replace the current AI Innovation Hub page with strategic opportunities. This is kind of like the complete user journey and how I want this to function. So laid out kind of some bullet points for Replit to be able to easily understand what we wanted, how I wanted the header section to look, and then the proactive suggestions grid. And so I wanted this to basically take all the current company information and be able to come up with innovation suggestions based on what our AI knows about their specific business. So being able to have those ready for that department head to be able to look at and see like, oh, here's some out of the box ideas that maybe we weren't thinking about that I can explore deeper. So then finally, there is a chat interface where that department head is going to say like, I don't care about any of these suggestions. This is specifically what I want to be working on. And what does that flow look like? And then I gave reference points in the blueprint of how it needed to be able to build this stuff out. So very specific prompt of exactly how I wanted, bullet points, and then references to the technical blueprint. So it took me a while to get this put together. But again, we are working on the core foundation of this. So it's not going to look pretty yet, but we want to make sure that it works and that it's functional. And reminder, we're on like our 3.5 really. So we really haven't even spent that much time in it, and we got something that's pretty substantial. So went through and did all of that. I guess we don't really need to go through what it did. So it said it completed it. And I went through and looked at it real quick, and it kind of did, but missed a few things. So again, AI is a little bit lazy, but we want to make sure that it's just not taking shortcuts and like half-assing the work. I don't really mind if it's not building out the full functionality, but what I don't want to have happen is it to like go haywire and start going all over the place and doing things that it shouldn't be doing. So after I did that round of work, I said, hey, great progress, but there's still some things missing, and here's what we need to look at. So the explore these opportunities button was broken, or it just wasn't going anywhere. Improve the chat visibility, restore the missing sidebar navigation. So like there was no nav on this page, so users wouldn't be able to go back. So I didn't want to continue to build on this page without some of these core things laid out. So enhance the chat functionality, went through, did that, told me it did. So let's go in and look at what we've got. So for these department heads, and again, sorry, this is kind of blocking what we can show, but you guys should be able to get the idea. So we're in our innovations hub, and what we've got is the quality control automation suggestion. So it's going to give some ideas around like what it thinks based on the documents that are in this system, what it thinks will be helpful for this company, and things that the company either it's not on a priority list because they just haven't fully explored it, or they just don't even know about it. So right, this is a quality control automation, customer service AI assistant, inventory optimization, and then it gives a confidence score, and then you're able to explore this opportunity in more detail and chat with the agent. So let's see. This still isn't doing anything. So this should pop up a modal where you're able to chat with the agent, talk through all of this, and then you're able to get those technical blueprints for this specific project or innovation, or a project roadmap through this. So if none of these spark your interest, right, then you're also able to do a strategic consultation and go through and talk with our AI agent and say like, hey, I'm looking at X department. I'm thinking that there's some gaps in this or opportunity here. I want to talk through and see what we could potentially come up with as a solution. It's going to go through that process and start to ideate that out, and then have that department head be able to go to the next level where they're able to get that technical blueprint or roadmap. So I'm going to call it a wrap today for day 3, our hour 3 of our sprint for Omni IQ, and then we're going to get right back at it. So I'm going to kind of do some back-to-backs with this, but this is day 3, hour 3, and so I think we've made some pretty good progress so far. So see you soon.